Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making these cute little snowflake amigurumi ornaments, and I have also tested it out in the plush yarn if you want to give that a try, and I will have all the hook size and yarn types down in the description for you to have a look at. For this video, I will be using a number 4 medium weight yarn, a 4.25 millimeter hook, and 10 millimeter safety eyes. And then if you are doing it in plush, I chose the 18 millimeter safety eyes with the glittery blue disc, but you can paint your own if you want to. This is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you. And I am also providing a drop down at the top of the screen with the pattern instructions for the first 30 seconds of every row for you to follow along with. And if you enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does it help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. I think that's everything, so grab your yarn and let's get started. All right, now you can begin any way you prefer as long as you have the same amount of stitches in row 1. I'm going to be making a knot with a loop on the end as if I was making a chain. And then I'm going to insert my hook, grab my yarn, pull up, and chain 1. And that does not count as a stitch. That just attaches our yarn to our loop. And for row 1, going over top of our tail, we are going to do 8 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then pull on that tail to close that hole if you need to. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one, and for row 2 we are going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 12. So 1 single crochet for 1 stitch, 1 increase for 2 and 3 stitches. Repeat that around, so single crochet, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, and our last increase, 11 and 12. Row 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, and our last increase, 17 and 18. Row 4, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4, whoops, and then repeat that around, 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and our last increase, 23 and 24. And this is going to be the back side of our snowflake, so we are going to just put a slip stitch in the next stitch. We're going to tie that off. You can leave a little bit of a tail, but we're not going to be using it for anything. And then we're just going to set that aside for a second while we do the other side. And again, you can begin any way you prefer as long as you have the same amount of stitches in row 1. I'll be doing my knot with the loop on the end as if I was making a chain. Whoops, grab the wrong end. Insert my hook. Grab my yarn and pull up and chain 1. And remember, that does not count as a stitch. That's just attaching my yarn to my loop. And for row 1, going over top of your tail, 8 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then pull that tail to close that hole if you need to. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one, and for row 2 we are going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that around for a total of 12. So 1 increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, and our last increase, 11 and 12. Row 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. 1, increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, and our last increase, 17 and 18. Row 4, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4. 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and our last increase, 23 and 24. We can get rid of our stitch marker now. All right, now we're going to join both sides together. So this will be our front that we just finished. Grab our back, and we want to make sure that we are putting the wrong sides together. So these are the wrong sides. If you can see, there should be kind of like a bar across all your stitches. And then the right sides, you can kind of see the spiraling, and you can see the little V's in your stitches. Okay, so let's get our hooks how we want them. So first we're going to go in the next stitch of our front. Grab your back. Again, remember you want the wrong sides facing each other. And here's where we made our slip knot. We want to go just in the next stitch in front of that, under both sides of the V, and we are going to do a slip stitch, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in the next stitch as well. Make sure you're under both sides. And now we're going to start our repeat. So we're going to start all these next stitches in the same stitch. So we're going to start with a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to single crochet in that same stitch. Now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, excuse me, 4, 5. Single crochet down in that same stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and again single crochet in that same stitch. And then we are going to do 3 slip stitches. Make sure you're going in the next stitch and you're not skipping stitches or it won't work out. 1, 2, and 3. And I know it's a little awkward, but just take your time. It is well worth the end result. So there's your repeat stitch, and we're going to do that again. So single crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the same stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the same stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the same stitch, and then your 3 slip stitches. One, 2, and 3. And if you just finished doing my snowflake ornament, this will be very familiar to you. I actually did this one first and then decided to turn it into the ornament. Okay, so now your repeat again, single crochet in that next stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the same stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the same stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet in the same stitch. Then your 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do our repeat again. So single crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, and then we'll do our 3 slip stitches. Whoops. One, two. Really struggling on these last ones. Don't go ahead of me now here because we're going to do something before we finish it off. So that's our 3rd slip stitch. Remove our hook. We have 4 of these little snowflake peaks. You're going to want to grab your eyes. And we're going to want to hold it like this. So this is still our front. This is going to be our top right here. So you want to have your last little snowflake peak up right here, your next one pointing up, and then you'll have these 2 over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over from this hole where we put all our same single crochets in the same stitch. And we're just going to come 1, 2 towards our center, and I'm in between rows 2 and 3. So this is row 1, 2, 3, and I'm going in that hole right there. And now we are going to count over 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to go in that 5th stitch. So our eyes should be kind of lined up with these 2 peaks here and on an angle coming from these 2 points. So if you're happy with where you have them, let's put the backs on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb and then I'm going to flip that eye post up through the hole that I have left. And I'm going to stick my back on. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Thumb on the eye, flip it up through the hole, and put the back on. Just give them a good squeeze. And then let's grab our hook and have a little bit of stuffing handy so that we can add some stuffing as we go. I might actually put a little bit in the top right now, actually. Just because when we get that next one on, it does get a little bit tight for space. And you don't need a lot in here. We just want to give it a bit of a poofy feel. We're not making it a big round circle. So see, we want it to stay nice and flat like that. All right, let's get our hook back in. And remember, we ended on 3 slip stitches. We're going to start our repeat pattern again now. So that'll be a single crochet in the first stitch, or next stitch, I guess. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in that, same stitch. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in that same stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in that same stitch. Now we're going to do our 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, and if you need to add any more stuffing, this is about your last chance. We only have 2 stitches left to fill. I think mine's okay. Remember, we just want it nice and flat. We don't want it in a big huge circle. And if you're ready to continue, we'll start our last repeat. So single crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet, all in that same stitch. And if you remember, we started with 2 slip stitches, so we only need to do 1 slip stitch now to finish off our pattern of 3 slip stitches. I just got to get around that. There we go. And then you can tie that off. And it was bad planning on my part ending down here, but once I got all the way around, I was not going to try it again. I was just happy to be finished and have it look like this. So then you're just going to leave yourself a fair bit of a tail because we're going to bring that up through the top. So just give that a cut, pull it through, grab your darning needle. I'm just going to make sure those eyes stay flat and don't twist. Now we're just going to come down. I like to come down in the slip stitch I just made and then go into the back if I can, but we'll be going inside and coming up this top loop. So if you need to, just grab that so you know where it is. And we're going to come up in that same spot where we did all of our single crochets in that top one, because that will be the center. One thing with working with this sparkly yarn, that filament they twist in there, as beautiful as it is, it sure snags on stuff. Okay, and we'll just give them a little bit of a face. So I'm going to start with the cheeks. And I'm doing my cheeks a little differently this time. Usually I do one cheek and then the other, but my cheeks always end up lopsided. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be starting in the same stitch just below the eye, the same row that our eye posts are in. But I'm going to go in on this side and I'm going to come out on this side. Then that way I'm at least starting even. It is one more extra step because we're going to have to rethread our needle, but I'm at the point where I don't even mind that anymore. So now we're going to go around a stitch as straight as across as you can. So you might not be in a stitch or a hole. We're going to go around and back through. And then repeat that, and we're going to come out, because it's so narrow, I'm going to come out the back. Usually I tie it in the front somewhere, but I'm just going to come out the back somewhere close to the middle. So there's our first little cheek. Now we're going to have to thread on the other side. I'm hoping this will help get these even. So straight across. Actually, it might have worked out this time. Imagine that. So we're just going to go back in. I'm just going around that set of stitches so I have a nice straight line. Then when I go back through the second time, I'm going to come out where my other end came out. Careful not to pull your cheek too tight. Just, if you need to, just kind of pull and twist till they're the same tautness. Whoops, wrong one. If you pull them too much, you can always go underneath and just kind of lift them. Just underneath both of the pink stitches, and then just lift them up a little bit. Should have kept track of which were which here. Okay. And once you're happy with them, you're going to tie that a couple of times. I'm going to do mine twice. Then we got to rethread our ends on and kind of hide them somewhere in the back. And we'll cut those off. If you tend to see your end like this, all you're going to do is you're going to come in a couple stitches away, and then you'll just swipe your needle across, and that'll get rid of that little pink piece showing. Now grab your black. All right, so let's thread on our black. And we're going to be using this next stitch below where we have the inside of our cheek and the inside of our cheek. And again, because it's so narrow and there's not a huge space between, I'm going to start in the back anywhere. So I'm coming up in that next stitch under the inside of the cheek. Leave some yarn on the back side for tying. And so my other stitch is going to be there. So I want to go somewhere kind of in the center and one row down. So I'm going to try there. Come up in that stitch that matches on the other side. So I'm the second stitch over from the inside of the cheek. Don't pull. Oh, I was going to use thin yarn. Oh well, we're using thick yarn this time, I guess. And I think that's going to look okay. So I'm going to come back down in that center and then out the same stitch. Where are we at here? Out the same stitch that our other piece came out of. Oh, I got strings everywhere. So I've been using a single strand of this. I'd separate this thick piece into 4 pieces. So if you want to do that before we get tying it up, it does look a lot nicer. But I mean, it's gonna be done the exact same way. But see how much nicer this thin little piece looks compared to the thicker piece. Or if you have embroidery thread, that would look good too. And then you're just going to tie that in the back like you did for the cheeks. Don't pull too tight because you don't want to wreck your smile on the other side. And then we're going to re-thread these ends so we can just hide it in the back somewhere. And make sure, especially when you're using black, that you dig down and grab some stuffing before you come out. Otherwise, you are going to probably see the little black line, especially if you're someone who overstuffs your projects. The last thing you want is to see a black line across there when you could just fix it easily by grabbing some stuffing. So let's cut that. Swoop it around if you need to. And there we go. He actually turns out pretty darn cute, I think. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed making this little snowflake amigurumi ornament with me, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. I'd like to give a huge shout out to my super thanks friends listed at the end of my videos. And as always, take care, be safe, and happy crocheting.